Alright, so what we're going to do here first is reset the trainer. Then we need to set the tonic to G, the key of G. We're going to learn these modes in the key of G. It's just easiest that way because it works out that way the best on the fretboard. Most people do learn the key of G. It's either going to be the key of G or the key of C, but everybody just do G. Anyway, so the other thing you want to look at, so you change it to Ionian, that's the degree number 1. The other thing is the type. That means like how are the tones going to react when you click them. So if you have it on off, you can click them and then you click them again and they just disappear. Nothing happens. It's on or off. Now if you do this, keep on, they stay on, and you can make the sound as many times as you want. Then there's disappear, and that's just, the idea is so that you can kind of try to train yourself to not look at the ones that you already played and just remember where they're supposed to be. So it disappears after every 4th one you click. So that's kind of cool. It's something to help train you. Then the other thing you can do, so that's show the full scale. I usually keep it on off, but either on off or keep on. So then if you go to just degree only, you can still click all the tones, but it only shows you as a guide, it only shows you the root tone of that degree. So the one that you saw lit up there, that's a G. Each one of those is a G, it's just at a different octave. So you can do it like that, and then if you really want to challenge yourself, you can make it so it doesn't guide you at all. And that's useful sometimes because sometimes this is pretty new, it's a pretty advanced software thing here I built. So yeah, it has some bugs in it yet. So the point is, sometimes if you go to that reveal on click mode, if like some of the tones aren't lighting up, sometimes they will if you go to that because of the way it works. Anyway, so that's that. Now let's tell it to go to show the whole scale, and I want to tell it to pick through. So in order to be able to see this, you have to go to where it says studio mode, and that way you can change how the pick works. If you don't have studio mode, you can still select pick. But if you have studio mode, you can do stuff like this. You can change the speed. And you can make it play patterns like this, so you can learn how to play the scale fast. That's a common pattern you hear, but people, they don't pause like that. Pausing is just to help you learn it. It would be more like this. Or even faster. People usually play it like really fast. You'll hear people do stuff like that in a guitar solo, like a passage from one thing to the next. It has that, So that's just to help you train and learn how to do it. I would say start off on medium, go to play through and pick it, and then try doing it yourself with the mouse, so you get the idea of where it's supposed to be. And whenever you complete the whole chord like that, if you notice over on this thing here where it says chord shape, that thing builds that chord as you go up through the mode. See how it slowly builds the chord? And then once I hit that final tone of the chord, it strums it. Okay, so that's enough for the Ionian. Then we move to Dorian, and you get the same thing. We'll have it play through the Dorian. So all it is, it's the same as what we did with the Ionian. It's just you're starting on a different tone and ending on a different tone. Sometimes it helps to go back and forth between them so you can hear how they sound different. Maybe put it on fast or insane so you can hear what it sounds like real fast, and then change it. So it'll give you an idea of what like the flavor of that chord sounds like, because they sound different. It kind of gives you a different feeling. Is it sad or is it more happy? Sound like something maybe you'd have at the beginning of a song, or something you'd have at the end of a song, or maybe somewhere in the middle. They each have like a different characteristic. So like listen to it and then change back and forth between them, and you can get the idea of how they change. Ideally, you could do that yourself. You get to play real fast like that, and then you can hear those sounds, and it gives you an idea of, what is that chord. If you hear it in your head, maybe you're like, wow, that sounds like that scale I was playing, And then if you can play them really easily like that, play them fast, you can get a better idea of what you're hearing in your head, because you're not limited by your fingers not being able to go where you need them to go. And then you learn those shapes, and you learn how those shapes sound, and you get used to the way they sound. That's why you want to play them together and learn them like this and how they relate to each other. So learn the Dorian there. And again, this is one of the things where it has the bug. If you go to where it says 4-tone, you'll notice that these tones on the 4th fret of the black and green string, they don't light up when you click pick. See, it's missing these. You can hear them, but you can't see them. So they're still in the right place. It still starts and ends at the right spot. But visually, it's a little confusing to look at that. If you put it in this, if you put it on play through, it does it correctly. So I have to figure out why it does that like that. Some kind of bug. It's really extremely complicated. Sorry about that. So that's, and then so that's your A Dorian minor, and that's your corresponding minor chord. Then we're going to go and we're going to try the B Phrygian minor. And again, you just let's see what it looks like if we just go to degree only. See, there's our B. And then if we tell it to play it. And then, again, I recommend that you use these things where it has the learning to play it like a pattern. It'll help you learn to use your different fingers better, and you get more used to playing it like that. Okay, so the Lydian mode, Phrygian and Lydian are almost the same. It's just Phrygian starts here on B, and Lydian starts on C. So they go through the exact same patterns. One ends here and one ends here. So look at what we'll go to the play through. So let's do it faster. Okay, so, you know, if you know one, you know the other. It's just the chord that goes along with it is a major. See how it says fret 8, 9, and 10? That's your C major bar chord. For the Phrygian, bar at the 7th fret. Okay, then we move up to Mixolydian. So we don't have that. That's you can play that chord as a 7. Bar it right there and just take your pinky finger off. So that's Mixolydian. Now this one is a little bit tricky because you can play it different ways. You see how it's playing that tone right there? It also appears there. Most people, I think, play it like this. Because you have your index, ring, and pinky, and then index, ring, and pinky. So it's like you've got the same pattern, and you just end there. Versus index, ring, pinky, and then I guess middle, pinky, index is the idea, and then, you know, you can slide that up to here. Or use your middle finger. I don't know. It's a different way to do it. Because if you do it like that, you know, if you're, let's say you're coming up the scale, but you want to go back down. Like that. You know. So it all depends on what you're trying to do. So that's Mixolydian. The next one is Aeolean, and the reason we want to talk about Aeolean is because it's the same as the open strings. Okay, so the corresponding chord is the E minor. So when I click play on this, or pick, it always picks it up here on the fretboard. It never does it open, so you'll see it's the exact same thing, but it's going to be an octave higher. And what do? Oh, so, you know, just come down here and try it. You know, see how it's different. Or see how it's the same, I mean. Index, or, well, since it's open, you don't really play it like, but you can pretend that you're fretting it there. Yeah, you can actually put your index finger behind, and sometimes that helps you to see how things work. So you'd be like, pretend you're fretting it there, so that'd be index, ring, and pinky. As you can see, that's the same as this. That's why you see all the 12th fret, that's the same as open. What was I going to say? So that's your, and then you've got your E minor corresponding chord there. Now that one, you can actually, see, I don't know, do you want to leave them on, or do you want to make it so they on or off? Keep them on, I don't know. You figure it out. But you can also play that chord here. Wait, up there. Where's that? So that is the same as this. That's the E minor chord, and look how it kind of comes out of that Phrygian. You see how it's right there? I don't know. Yeah, it's complicated and it doesn't work exactly right. So I want to show you. So after you played the Aeolean, the next tone would be here, but we can't go up that high, so we're going to play it here. So when I switch to Locrian, you see it lights up here. And that one's almost exactly like Ionian. So now you've gone all the way up the neck and moved, you know, and cycled all the way back around, and now you know the scale's all the way up and down the neck. Look at that, aren't you cool now?